Everyone's talking about that mysterious prisoner Wednesday finds at the end of episode 4, the terrified woman who refuses to leave her cell after Uncle Fester breaks out all the patients from Willow Hill. And yeah, I know the most popular theory right now is that she's Ophelia Frump, Morticia's sister. But here's the thing, I don't buy it. I think that woman is Tyler Galpin's mother, and it doesn't stop there. I do think Ophelia Frump is alive, just not locked up in Willow Hill, and definitely not that woman in the cell. In fact, I think Ophelia is already in the show, hiding in plain sight, possibly played by Lady Gaga, under the alias of Professor Rosalyn Rottwood. Yep, that name's actually in the credits. I'll break it all down for you in a second. But first, hit that subscribe button. Seriously, most people watching aren't subscribed, and I've got more theories coming. Let's go over exactly what happened in that scene, because the details matter. After Uncle Fester overloads the power grid and shuts off the lights at Willow Hill, chaos takes over. All the test subjects are released and most of them go straight after Judy, looking for revenge. She manages to escape, just barely. But Wednesday doesn't follow them. Instead, she stays behind to help one specific patient, a woman locked in a cell, completely terrified and absolutely refusing to leave. And here's the first important point. Her behavior. Every other subject runs after Judy with a clear goal: revenge. But this woman stays frozen, too afraid to even step outside her cell. That suggests deep trauma, sure, but not just fear. We're talking about the kind of trauma that comes from losing all hope. Someone who's been through so much they no longer believe freedom is real. There's another detail. Wednesday chooses to stay with this woman. That's where a lot of people started filling in the blanks. If Wednesday is helping her, then it must be Ophelia, since Morticia said she was sent to Willow Hill. But I don't think so. I think Ophelia escaped a long time ago. Back in some of my oldest videos, way back during season 1, I mentioned the theory that Tyler's mom might still be alive, that she was either used by Laurel Gates as a second hide experiment or hidden in Willow Hill under a fake death certificate. So in my opinion, it makes a lot more sense for the woman in the cell to be Tyler Galpin's mother. Everyone seems to be assuming that the woman in the cell is Ophelia Frump, based on what Morticia said, that Ophelia had a breakdown and was sent to Willow Hill and apparently escaped at some point. But let's think logically. If Ophelia had been locked up there all this time, why didn't Uncle Fester recognize her? Even after trauma, people don't lose every trace of who they are. The way they move, small gestures, something usually sparks recognition. And Wednesday, she's hypersensitive to family dynamics. She'd pick up on that. The whole idea that Wednesday only stayed behind because it was her aunt doesn't hold up. People forget that Wednesday does care, especially when it comes to other outcasts. She just expresses it differently. If the woman in the cell were Ophelia, Wednesday would have sensed it. There'd be something in the way she looked at her, some flicker of recognition, but that's not what we see. We see her helping someone deeply damaged, yes, but not reconnecting with a long-lost relative. There's also a bigger narrative reason this doesn't add up. If Ophelia Frump is actually going to appear in the show and the clues are all pointing that way, then it would make a lot more sense for her to show up as Professor Rosalyn Rottwood, played by Lady Gaga. Think about it. Lady Gaga didn't join the cast to play a forgettable background character. Her role is going to matter. Even if it's small, it'll hit hard. And which version of Ophelia makes more impact? A silent, broken woman trapped in a cell, or a survivor who escaped, reinvented herself, and came back under a new name with a plan? One last thing. A lot of people watching the series don't know that Ophelia Frump was part of the original Addams Family sitcom from the 1960s, and in that version, she was blonde. The woman in the cell doesn't fit that image. She has dark hair and actually looks more like the blurry photo we saw back in season 1, the one showing Tyler's mother. So if Lady Gaga ends up playing Ophelia, keeping the blonde hair would line up with the original version from the sitcom. It's a subtle detail, but the kind this show loves to play with. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know this isn't the first time I've brought this up. In earlier videos, I've already floated the theory that Tyler's mom might still be alive, and even before season 2 dropped, I suggested that Lady Gaga could be playing Ophelia Frump. So, let's lay out the facts. Tyler's mother disappeared years ago under suspicious circumstances, supposedly with a death certificate to prove it. But now, with these 4 new episodes, we've learned something huge. Some outcasts were declared dead, without actually being dead. Gus and Judy were forging death certificates and using those outcasts as test subjects in Willow Hill. So what if Tyler's mother never died at all, just became one of their experiments? That would explain everything about her trauma. Years of testing, psychological torture, watching other patients be killed or turned into something else. Over time, she would have lost all sense of hope. It also explains her fear of leaving the cell. She's probably tried to escape before, mentally, emotionally, and it only led to more pain. At this point, she doesn't believe freedom is even real. And here's where things get intense. Imagine Tyler finding out. He's already unstable, especially in season 2, where he's stronger, more aggressive, and clearly on edge. He already killed Laurel Gates during the Willow Hill escape, but if he finds out that Gus and Judy were torturing his mother this entire time, that she was alive, locked away, and suffering, that's the kind of trigger that could turn him into something unstoppable. Tyler's always struggled with abandonment and loss, learning that his mother didn't abandon him, that she was stolen from him and broken over years of abuse. That doesn't just push him over the edge, it turns him into a weapon, one with a purpose. Now, let's talk about Lady Gaga. She's officially in the cast, credited as a professor named Rosalyn Rottwood. And here's where things get interesting. Morticia and Gomez just happen to be staying at Rottwood Cottage, the same place Laurel Gates used as a hideout in season 1. Not a coincidence. My theory, Rosalyn Rottwood is actually Ophelia Frump, alive and out of Willow Hill and now living under a new identity. Look at the timeline. Ophelia had a breakdown, was sent to Willow Hill, and somehow escaped, something Uncle Fester seems to know. But instead of going back to her family, she chose to disappear, reinvent herself, and now she's back, not as a broken patient, but as someone with power and purpose. Why return now? Maybe she knows Wednesday is in danger. Maybe she has unfinished business with whoever locked her away. Or maybe she's been waiting for the right moment to strike back. And honestly, Ophelia returning as a professor makes way more narrative sense than showing up as a silent, traumatized prisoner. It gives her presence weight. She has agency. She's active in the plot, not just a memory or a victim. She brings mystery. No one around her knows who she really is. She sets up a dramatic reveal. The moment her mask comes off, everything shifts, and she creates a direct psychic link. Someone who could help Wednesday unlock even more of her power. Lady Gaga's role probably won't take up a lot of screen time, but it doesn't need to. If this theory holds, her scenes are going to hit hard, and when she shows up, it's going to matter. If I'm right about both theories, the second half of the season is about to get wild. Here's how I see it. The mysterious woman Wednesday rescued from the cell isn't Ophelia, she's Tyler's mother, alive and tortured for years inside Willow Hill. That changes everything. Suddenly, Tyler has the ultimate motivation. This isn't just revenge, it's personal. He's going to want to burn down every last person involved, and that puts him on a direct collision course with Wednesday. She might try to protect his mother, help her recover, but Tyler, he may already be too far gone, consumed by rage. We could see him hunting down Judy, not out of duty, but for vengeance. After everything Judy did to his mom, he'll want blood. That sets up a brutal dilemma. Wednesday protecting a deeply traumatized woman, while her own former classmate, maybe even her former friend, is ready to tear everything apart to get justice. And while that's happening, Ophelia, still hidden as Rosalyn Rottwood, could be working behind the scenes, trying to protect Wednesday from threats she doesn't even see yet. And because Rosalyn has insider knowledge about Willow Hill, she could become key to the final showdown. What really brings it all together is how it connects the villains. Gus, Judy, even Barry Dort. They could all be tied into something much bigger. A conspiracy that links the Addams family and the Galpins in ways no one expected. Now picture this. Tyler finds out his dad was killed for digging too deep into Willow Hill, and that his mom wasn't just a victim. She was still there, being used as a test subject for years. That kind of truth, it won't just break him. It'll turn him into a weapon. And right in the middle of it all, Wednesday, trying to save the mother. But what about you? Do you think I'm on the right track with this theory? Let me know in the comments and drop a like if you want more videos like this. This is Raphael CG. See you in the next one.